Okay, Mr. Nelson is right here back with you guys. This time is pretty much different because it's your first day of class and it's an advanced level, and I know a lot of people have been waiting for the time, and the time has come for you. And I believe if you guys do not know much English, you're going to have some little problem understanding, some little difficulties, but not much of difficulty. So today, this is the plan that we have for the advanced level. The advanced level is going to be presented this way. There are 5 parts in it. Of course, there are 5 parts in almost every level, in the beginning, the intermediate level as well. But the advanced is going to focus more on this plan, or on those 5 things. The first one is vocabulary, which is the part that we're going to be doing today. Is vocabulary. We're going to be seeing a lot of words about marriages, about weddings, about relationships. And the second part is idioms. How to use idioms, certain idioms that are typically American, that are typically North American idioms that Americans mostly use, which are not really understood by foreigners. So we're going to be talking about them, but not today, of course, but because today is mainly for vocabulary, okay? And the third part is pronunciation techniques. Of course, there's going to be a part where you guys are going to be taught how to pronounce words, how to sound more native. I'm going to help you do that. I know lots of people have been trying to do that, but they haven't really been successful. Why? Because they themselves do not have an American or a native accent. It takes someone that has that accent to teach another to do so, which I am going to do. Okay, and the fourth part is differences. This part is for everyone, whether the person is an advanced student or an intermediate student or a beginning student, that person can learn from the differences. Why? Because I'm going to be translating them, those differences into Creole, of course, not in every language, because I myself do not speak every single language on this planet. Okay, and the last part is grammar. Mostly descriptive, not prescriptive. Prescriptive is kind of hard for certain people because it tells you this is what you really have to say. I'm not going to focus that much on this because the grammar I'm going to help you with is especially difficulties, problems that you guys have been having. You've had these problems for a long time and you've been looking for answers. You've been praying, and your prayers, the answer to your prayers have come. So with this part, the last one, you're going to have a good time with Mr. Nelson learning them. Matter of fact, let me just erase the board and get to the vocabulary part, which is the first one. Okay, let me erase the board. And guys, yeah, just a short break while I'm erasing. Okay, I told you I was erasing the board, but the erasing is over. I'm putting the eraser back. Okay. We're back at it with vocabulary words, which is the first part of the plan. I told you the plan has 5 parts, and the first one is vocabulary words. But before we get started with the vocabulary or phrases, we're going to go into definitions of 4 words that are very important. And these words are extremely important for everyone that's learning the language, especially if you go to school. And some of you guys have seen those words and have probably wondered, what is the difference? You've asked yourself about the difference. So now today you're going to have a chance, today which is Thursday, the first day of the class, you're going to have a chance to know the differences. Let's go for the first word. The first one is statement. And if you look at the word statement, there's a verb in the word statement. And this verb is state. When you state something, that means you declare it, you say it. So when you say something, whatever you say can be said negatively or affirmatively. So if you have an affirmative sentence, so it is a statement. If you make a negative sentence, it is what? It's a statement. So that means whenever you have a negative or an affirmative sentence, it is a statement. So a statement is something that is said. It's a declaration. That's what I call a statement. But we have different types of statement. But today, different types of statements, but today we're not going to talk about the different types of statements that we do have. We're just going to talk about statement as a word itself, which means declaration, whether negative or affirmative. Okay, let's go to the word sentence, which is the most common one. So sentence is the word that is most commonly used. We say that sentence can be whether negative, question, or affirmative, whatever you may call it, it's a sentence. Okay, but what is a sentence basically? A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete idea. Whenever you have a group of words that expresses a complete idea, we call it a sentence. Whether that is negative, question, interrogative, or affirmative, it is a sentence. Now let's get down to the word clauses. You see, it says clauses. Why clauses? Because there are usually two. It's a sentence in which you have two ideas, two separate ideas. But we're not going to talk about the different types of clauses because there are about 10 types of clauses, which we're not going to talk about today. We're going to save it for the next class. But remember, clauses are usually two. It's when you have two separate ideas in one sentence. Two separate ideas in one sentence. One sentence and two separate ideas. We call them clauses. We have if clauses, when clauses, while clauses, or clauses, different types of clauses. We have relative clauses, and so on, interrogative clauses, different types of clauses. For example, if you touch my book, you will die. These are clauses, but if clauses. Phrase. What is a phrase basically? A phrase is also a group of words, but a group of words that expresses an incomplete idea. The idea is not complete. We call that a phrase. Okay. I believe everyone understands the differences between statement, sentence, clauses, and phrase. Now, let's get to the vocabulary words. Today's in the first lesson of the first class, we're going to be talking about relationships or marriage. I understand that everybody understands the term marriage or relationships. We're going to focus on relationships, whether it's two men, two women, two whatever, or men and women relationships. But let's go for the difference. Wedding and marriage. What is the wedding? The wedding is the ceremony. Where do you go to? I'm going to a wedding. John is getting married. I'm going to a wedding. It's the party. It's what you go to, what you attend. It's not the union. The union between the two people, we call that the marriage. What they live is a marriage. But what you go to is a wedding. You go to a wedding, not a marriage. You go to a wedding. So this is the difference between a marriage and a wedding. The wedding is the union. The marriage is the union, but the wedding is the ceremony. It's what you attend. It's the party. It's what you go to. It's the way you go and have fun or watch the people talk about them and talk about their future life or how they're going to be living. Kind of criticize them too. I know you guys do that. Okay, let's see the difference between get married and be married. When they say you get married, like John is going to get married, so this is what's going to happen. Get, in this context, means become. You become married. When you say you become, that means you were not. You were not. So now you are. So you become married. You become a married man or a married woman. You a spouse. Okay, whether you're a man or a woman. So you're going to get married next week. But if you say John is married, John is married, that this is what he's living. This is his situation. This is his life. He's married. Janet is married. This is her life. Peter is married. This is his life. This is his or her situation. This is what he or she is living right now. He or she is married. But get married is what happens to you. Just like you get tired, you get sad, you get hungry, and so on. You become tired. You become hungry. So John is going to get married next week. That means John is going to become a husband next week. Or a wife, I don't know. See? So this is get married. And be married, this is the life, the state, the way you are, what you're living. You are married. Now, there's a problem that a lot of people often have, especially those that speak Creole or French. People have the tendency to use this expression this way, like saying, I'm married with. You are not married with. We don't use the term with. The word marry or be married. We say to. Or you just use marry plus the person. John is married to Janet. Janet is married to Miriam. You see? Or John is married to Peter, Or John is married to Janet. Married to. So she is going to marry William next week. She's going to marry William. That means she's going to be William's wife. William is going to be her husband. So this is, we say married to. If you would like to use a preposition, use to. Or no preposition at all, especially when it comes to the verb marry. But if you put be married, but you say be married to. Like John is married to Janet. Janet is married to Peter. Got it. Or like John is going to marry Peter. John is going to marry Janet, and so on. So this is how we use marry, but do not say marry with, no. But married to if you would like to use it. Be married to, or marry someone. Okay, we're gonna go down to the different types of relationships or marriages. Civil union, it's a type of marriage, But in civil union, there are certain things or certain advantages you don't have. In the United States, civil union is known in a state. It's a state marriage. But the marriage itself is federal. There are certain advantages you don't have in a civil union. Let's look at the word concubinage. Concubinage is when you cohabit. Concubinage is when you cohabit. When you have a concubine. When you have a concubine, the person is your concubine. You live together, but you are not married. So you have a concubine. So you live in concubinage. That means you cohabit, you live together, you have children, you probably have children, but you are not legally married. You're not legally married. Okay? So you live in concubinage. Or you cohabit, you live in cohabitation. This is what people call in Creole placé. Lemuna placé, okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Beard marriage or beard relationship. Beard marriage is especially when a man or woman is married to someone to cover his or her true identity, her true sexual orientation. For example, you're gay, you're a man, but you don't want society to know about you. You don't want society to know what your life really is. You don't want them to know your sexual orientation. I don't know, for some reason, maybe because of, it's parental reason. I don't know what the reason is whatsoever. You just marry someone and the person knows that you are not into her or into him. You're married to that woman just to cover your true social orientation. You may even have kids. We call that a beard marriage. Sometimes you can call a person a beard. You go into a party, you don't have a girlfriend, but you don't like girls really, you prefer a man. So you tell a girl, you tell Janet, can you accompany me to a wedding, to a party, so everybody will think that you are my girlfriend? And you probably pay that person to be your girlfriend, to act your girlfriend for a day. So that person is your beard. She is your beard, or he is your beard. That means he or she accompanies you to cover your sexual orientation, your true you. We call that beard marriage or beard relationship. Okay? And that person is your beard. Okay. So I'm going to use a little Creole. I know it's an advanced level, but certain people would like to know that. C'est surtout lorsque un monde marié ou bien li entre en relation avec un autre monde, mais il pas vraiment intéressé à sexe opposé, à l'intéressé à un monde de même sexe avec lui. Mais ils marié en façon pour couvrir orientation sexuelle. Il pas de monde connaît que li gay et puis li avec une fille. Yo dirait ça on sorte de beard marriage. Et moun na qui avec ou ali c'est un beard. Parfois moun na kon demande pour accompagner pour étant c'est girlfriend ou bien boyfriend pour moun pas qu'on a fait. Et dit qu'on paye au même pour aller faire ça. So ça c'est un beard. Moun ça c'est un beard lié pour. Okay? All right. We have the word lavender. You see? Lavender. Lavender marriage c'est presque pareil. Seule différence c'est que beard marriage là plutôt c'est garçon qui fait. Mais lavender c'est les deux. C'est-à-dire fille ou bien garçon qui couvrir orientation sexuelle, les ça yo les lions lavender marriage. You got that one. For example, you more into women et puis c'est tout plus ça tiré par fille, mais on pas vraiment qu'on a fait simplement accompagner un garçon pour le couvrir pour ou bien on marie avec un garçon pour le couvrir frère ou même peut-être à cause de la société ou pas vraiment qu'on a fait. Okay, that we call that lavender marriage or lavender relationship. Okay, going for the next one. We have sham or fake or false marriage. Ça veut dire expliquer tête. Ça explique peut-être déjà. L'autre sham ou bien fake or false marriage, ça c'est faux mariage. Ça souvent fait lorsqu'il y a by immigration. It has to do with immigration most of the time. Ou marié avec le monde peut-être pour le green card, residency. Il y a ça, un sham marriage ou bien un fake marriage ou fait un mariage ou fait pour façon pour obtenir un bagage. Surtout il y a un rapport avec immigration. Okay? We call it sham or fake or false marriage. Open marriage, ça très commun de nos jours, on parle de lui. You marry someone, but you agree that the person can have sexual relationship or, intercourse with someone else. Ou marié un monde, on dit, ok, pas de problème chez vous, car rapport sexuel avec l'autre monde, nous d'accord. Sous papier, nous d'accord, car vivre avec l'autre monde, mais nous toujours mariés. Nous vivre avec l'autre monde, nous toujours mariés. L'un qu'on a fait l'autre, c'est un open marriage. And cohabit, nous avons déjà c'est placé. And nous allons entrer, ça c'est dans l'autre partie nous là. We have bachelor or stag party. Ça les gens qui mariés. When people are gonna get married, so they have a bachelor party. I forgot the Creole for that one. C'est surtout messieurs font fête pour les qui veulent marier pour voyer pour m'pas jeune garçon encore m'pas dans vidéo encore qu'on y a ces messieurs mariés liés les ça font fête qui les bachelor party ou bien un stag party laissez pour filles à faire les bachelorette party or bachelorette party. Okay guys, this is not over yet. Marriage is not over. In the next lesson we'll have a chance to continue with the term marriage. But this was your first lesson. Remember, we've given a lot of vocabulary. In the next lesson, we will continue with the vocabulary, especially vocabulary words about weddings and marriages or relationships. But remember, it's not over yet. The next class is next Thursday with your coach, your teacher, your friend, Mr. Nelson. Have a good one. See you next time.